Okay, so today we have one of the most geniusly made copies that I've ever read in the past few months, I guess, because I've been starting to read only for a few months. So, I don't know. I'm just kidding. This year, it's the year I'm reading more swipe files, but I've been learning copy and reading swipe files for like 2 years now, I guess. So let's start. You won't be able to see my face because I don't know, for some reason when I change the tab, my face disappears, and as you can see, I just have the first two pages in this little thing here. Okay, so let's begin. How one man's criminal misconduct can make your company 10, 20, even 50 times more profitable legally. Okay, so once again, that's a very interesting headline that kind of touches a very interesting point, which is the violation of expectations. Just like I did with my last video, I talked about a guy that was a successful criminal for 30 years, and now he's on your side. And now this criminal, the person who reads this will be asking himself or herself, how can a criminal make my company 10, 20, even 50 times more profitable? And it's a very interesting ultra specific benefit, right? And the person is gonna be just craving to know how can he or she get this benefit. And plus, this word legally adds up in a perfect way because there's a famous sentence that I heard from Carl Sagan, the famous astronomer. Extreme claims demand extreme evidences. So this is legal, okay? So it's extreme claim, but it's legal. So let's begin. This was made by Direct Mail. Okay, so this is part of the lead. How anonymity, audacity, and ingenuity came together through this wildly innovative mind of one of my former clients to produce arguably the most usable summary of my work ever penned. Okay, a little bit innovative, a little bit of new, announcing the Abraham experience in my optimal strategy success system, simplified, organized, summarized, and made totally systematic in one amazingly convenient and clear 376-page reference book. This story is a bit embarrassing, a little funny, and a lot unbelievable. Okay, so it kind of you know making the that expectation to the reader. A lot of simplify. It's easy, organized. People like organized stuff, summarized. Amazingly convenient. It's just so cool. Yeah, every word is true, and the result of it is happening in a wonderful opportunity for you to build rapidly on any success you've either already realized or are about to embark upon. Here, in a nutshell, the story. Dear valued friend, about 12 years ago I met a man, we'll call him Mr. X for now. He was a likable, remarkably success-driven man, running a deserving little business in the Midwest, who was struggling to get closer to the vision he had for his fledgling enterprise. I liked him the first time I talked to him. He had vision, integrity, and a historic perspective on life, humanity, and economic theory that fueled his huge ambition. More importantly, he had a vision for his business that was giant and good and worthwhile. Not merely for him, but for his customers as well. Okay, so this part is basically storytelling. Okay, I got bitten by his bug and bought into his dream. Over the next 5 years, we took his little fledgling company from 3,000 in gross sales to a peak of 5 million. He made millions. So too did I. Then we parted friends and we went our separate ways. I advised a lot more companies. He started and invested in a lot of companies, and he wrote a best-selling book on entrepreneurship. So this establishes a little bit of authority for J. Abraham, because he made his client millions. We kept lightly in touch and always talked about trying to do something together, but just couldn't find a project we both could get excited about. He liked startups. I like leveraging already existing businesses. One day, I jest. I thought he kiddingly said he decided to take the 5 years of hands-on education and instructions I'd personally given him with the experiential understanding he'd gained by actually applying on my fucking Tinder, applying, implementing, and successfully incorporating my methods into all his business activities, and create a tell-all, teach-all, knockoff version of my very expensive publications and tapes that was better organized, better presented, better clarified, and better explained, so people could apply my methods more successfully and easily. Okay, so this part here kind of emphasizes how hard it is to get this knowledge. 5 years of hands-on education, instruction, blah blah blah. So the person who's reading will feel, oh my god, I'm not gonna spend 5 years looking, learning, because I much rather buy this 366 page book, so I'll get 5 years of knowledge. Um, and by after saying this, he applying into it and tell all, teach all, knockoff version of my here. Very interesting benefit: better organized, better presented, better clarified, and better explained. So this all comes to an easy bias of understanding, right? It's much easier, and it kinda tells that it's gonna be much cheaper, because version of my very expensive publication kind of starts to anchor the reader into a very expensive mindset, but this will be more clarified below, above, whatever. My English is not perfect. I thought at first that he was kidding, but I found out he was not. Mr. X was dead serious. He took the project upon himself, almost like a crusader on a mission. But he did it behind my back. I don't really believe his intent was covert or diabolical. Actually, the result was quite benevolent and invaluable to the public, as you'll see in a moment. So open loop here, as you see in a moment, to kind of start some curiosity. Okay, so this kind of tells that J. Abraham was not happy because he did this, but let's try to continue. As I learned later, Mr. X spent almost 1 solid year reading every page of my 500 basic instructional, listening to every minute of every tape of my 5,000 marketing boot camps, my 15,000 protege training programs, my 25,000 strategy setting symposiums, and my 1,000 J days. Once again, anchoring to see, look, to tell the reader, look, you're gonna get all of this value, 25,000, 15,000, I don't know, whatever he did. He has this much value, okay? He's anchoring the reader to think this thing has an immense value. In addition, he painstakingly poured over the entire 2,000-page advanced marketing course I created for 3,000 whatever, called For Your Marketing Hours Only, and he analyzed nearly 100 hours of individual quick fix consultations I performed for a wide range of private clients. He made notes, he called people in follow up on results, he reconstructed virtually every important transaction, breakthrough concept, and mindset factor that I taught him that contributed to his personal 25 million fortune. He quite honestly dissected me at a level of explanation and analysis I'd never taken myself to. Then he dropped the bombshell. I regularly sell my publications for 1,000 and 3,750. My tape sets are purposely priced at 1,800 and 5,000 a set. Attendance at live multi-day events starts at 5,000 and runs upwards to 5 times that amount. So once again, anchoring the the reader to think this thing has a huge value. You know, okay, so Mr. X, as a friend and former client, had been giving copies of all my materials. He has a personal library of J. Abraham materials worth conservative, whatever, speaking 50,000. And he decided to sell his abridged, fast-track version of me to the market for a mere 367. So here's the anchor, right? He put the price up high to make people believe it has a huge value, and then tells the a much lower price. You cannot believe my amazement when he ran ads in letter offers to sell his highly condensed and better condensed and highly condensed and better organized. This has a pretty interesting easy factor here. The guy is a great editor and one of the clearest, most lucid thinkers I've ever met. More tightly edited and more crisply presented an illustrated version of my expensive proprietary information at literally pennies on the dollar. I was horrified, yet in a funny way. I actually admired the ingenuity and the resourcefulness of what he'd done. And then I got my hands on a copy of the book. I use that word hesitantly because the reference manual is huge. It's twice the size of any hand-bound book. Weighs nearly 4 pounds, and it's packed with almost 400 pages of money-making wisdom Mr. X distilled from me. There isn't one wasted page, not one paragraph or filler, or one word or fat. His book took off, as you can imagine, with nearly 1,000 copies being sold in the first few months of announcing it. I got concerned that it would undermine my own major marketing activity, so I called Mr. X and, well, let's say politely persuaded him that clashing swords on this matter wouldn't produce a happy outcome for either of us. Sparks flew for about a month, but clearer heads finally prevailed, and I acquired the rights to my own material back from him. I sincerely have to tell you that the resulting reference guide to understanding and applying my philosophy and concepts is actually better in many ways than the free-form stream of consciousness type of writing or speaking I typically do. Remember, Mr. X wrote a best-selling, fast-paced business book before, which did so well it has been released in paperback. Anywho, I took all his remaining inventory. There are just 1,027 copies of his massive reference work remaining in existence. It's called Money Making Secrets of Marketing Genius J. Abraham and Other Marketing Wizards, a nonsense guide to great wealth and personal fortune. Okay, so this is like presenting the more storytelling. All right, so if you don't get it till now, J. Abraham is the author of this thing. He created a so-called Mr. X to kind of make this little storytelling and anchor the price of that thing. The manual is good, damn good. Mr. X had promised through all of this not to reveal his true identity as part of our settlement agreement, but he's a nationally renowned business success, being on Good Morning America, the Today Show, and written about in the Wall Street Journal. You know him immediately if I told you his real name. Has added massive sections in which he analyzed and introduced the ideas in thinking of great sales, marketing, and advertising luminaries and summarized how to grow your own business by adopting techniques they uncovered and perfected. The manual is broken into 20 logical sections. Each section is tightly edited, 20 to 50 single-spaced pages. So here are the things you're gonna get. Cool, customers education, whatever, start marketing, whatever. Okay, it presents my and other best reasoned, most effective ideas and strategies in such a pragmatic and progressive way that it's virtually impossible not to become much more successful by following it. Ironically, about a dozen people who invested 10 grand or more in my materials have called me to tell that Mr. X book helped bring all my ideas and concepts together for them and bring it all home. Easy. My dilemma. So here I am with a warehouse full of these invaluable but unacceptably underpriced manuals that 1,000 people have already been able to purchase, so a little bit of social proof. My intent was to take them off the market or reproduce them at a 1,000, 2,000 price tag. Remember, this manual thoroughly explains and embodies the core essence and the key elements of nearly 50 grand of my best thinking ideas. Once again, anchoring the price. See, this has a huge value. All right, he spent a huge storytelling just to place this perceived value to the reader. Incredible, genius. I should forewarn you that Mr. X does an amazingly clear job of explaining and instructing you on exactly how to immediately apply my methods to any and every business situation, and he ties selling and advertising in joint ventures and lead generations all together more clearly, perhaps, than I've ever seen done. However, the ideas are reorientations of my proprietary thoughts, methods, concepts, and techniques. So if you purchase one or more copies, please don't be disappointed if if it sounds similar to what you've already learned and being taught by me. Just present it more clearly. Remember, these ideas work. They produce billions in combined income. But a lot of people have trouble getting started or easily applying what I teach. This manual presents an almost infallible explanation of precisely how to profit and prosper immediately and ongoing by better applying my methods and business strategy ideas. Okay, Mr. X is, despite his unmitigated gall to try to sell his version of me, a brilliant entrepreneur in his own right. He's probably the greatest student of success and collector of great biography I've ever met in my life. More importantly, he, above and beyond any and every other client or seminar attendee I have ever instructed, has understood me better, has applied my principles more successfully, and has built and improved on my basic methods more effectively and masterfully than anyone else I've ever shared them with. Mr. X paid me well over 2 million in consulting fees to teach him what he's restating in this amazing manual. He made well over 20 million for his efforts. Together, we built his company based solely on application of these principles, from 300 grand to 1500 grand in less than 5 years. So that, once again, restating that this thing is so valuable, you're gonna get a bargain. This manual clearly and fully explains exactly how we did that seemingly amazing feat and how you can mirror Mr. X's success by modeling my principles in your own business approach. At 1,000 a copy, this manual would be easily be the best value I've ever sold. At 367, it's a steal. If you want one or more copies, return the form by email immediately. Remember, I only have 1,027 copies left. Once they're gone, the format changes and the price goes up at least 3 times the present price. I'm extending this modestly priced offer as a courtesy to you. Add $10 to your order for shipping and handling. Foreign shipping may incur extra charges. Okay, so as you can see here, there's a PS. Just wait a minute. As you can see here, he adds a little bit of urgency, right? You have only 1,000, so hurry up. So if you don't hurry up, I'm gonna change to 1,000 the price. P.S. Some of the interesting perspectives of Mr. X focuses greater attention on this manual than ordinarily do in my typical reference works include The primary message of my entire philosophy and how to best profit from it, what to commit to memory, how to mix different strategies together for explosive results, complete examples, how to compute profit and lifetime value calculation for scratch if you don't know how to begin, summarize, not showing of my advice, the essentials of how to set up and run a telemarketing business. Okay, so it's all features. There are approximately 100 additional key issues. This is like bonuses, okay? 100 additional key issues Musax delves into from a perspective I've never had. If you've been struggling to understand and apply principles or techniques more effectively to a specific business situation, this instructive, explanatory manual shows you how in a way that's harder to fail with than to massively succeed with. Okay, so lots of easy things here. Okay, so this is CTA, so the coupon to fill. So yeah, I know you miss me, so I'm gonna place my head very big so you can see me. So yeah, this copy is a master class to how it masterclass on how to anchor the price of your product, how to like make a perceived value skyrocket. This was perfect storytelling, teaching how to anchor the price, and he basically did that, and emphasizing how easy was the book, it was how condensed it was, how hard to get the same content it was from a time perspective and money perspective. So the best option was to actually purchase this book from Mr. X, aka Dre Abraham. So just perfect, perfect, 10 out of 10.